Welcome to another episode of the Horror Hotel. Today I'm gonna list 5 movies that you should check out. Alright, so this time around I found another set of 5 movies that we're gonna talk about. They are not new movies entirely. They are movies that I recently watched or rewatched and that caught my attention. And I also want you all to know that I don't want you to see these videos as reviews because they clearly aren't. They're just some tips for you to get some idea of what to watch tonight or something like that. Movies that aren't entirely a waste of time. And today we're gonna start with the movie Pyramid. It's a indie movie and it's a sort of found footage movie, but not entirely because it changes during the movie. I think the pyramid is kind of interesting. It's about a group of archaeologists that finds a 3-sided pyramid in Egypt. There are no 3-sided pyramids in Egypt in real life. That's why, it makes for a good movie. They find out that they are being requested to leave the area during the Arabic Spring, and therefore rushes an investigation of the inside of the pyramid. It got a decent setup, and I think it kind of plays on the same level as Above, So Below, but with a much smaller budget and not entirely the same idea. It got some other ideas it's presenting. I don't want to spoil anything, but the acting in the movie is not that good, and it got some pretty bad CGI. But if you can see past that, you got a pretty decent movie, a good evening watch, if you will. I'm looking forward to seeing more from these guys, actually. The second movie I want to talk about is Dead Girl. It's a movie about a group of teens that finds a girl in the basement of an old sanitarium, and they are not sure if she is dead or alive, or maybe she's a zombie. However, they're starting using her as a sex toy. It's a pretty nasty movie, but it got some really good drama in it between the main characters and the morals. They are fighting each other over this idea, and overall, it's a nasty movie. It's really out there in that kind of sense, but it doesn't show too much of the nasty part. It implements a bit and gives you the idea of things happening, and it's really a tasteful movie in that sense. It gives you the idea of something nasty happening, but without really showing it that detailed. And well, the movie develops and things are going to shit. You can already tell this, but I think you should actually watch this movie if you're a fan of horror movies. Dead Girl is the name. The third movie I want to talk about is The Houses October Build. Now, this is a found footage movie. It's kind of a good movie, I think. The plot is the plot is stupid. Okay, it's really stupid, but the ride there is kind of good. The movie itself is kind of good. It got some nice scenes, got some nice scenery overall. It got a decent setup for the plot, but the plot really lacks. But I think if you're a fan of found footage movies, you're gonna find this one kind of interesting. And it actually also got some really creepy scenes that are worth seeing. One happens to be with a little clown girl. If you're scared of clowns, and I mean like fear of clowns, scared to death by clowns, this movie might not be for you, but that might also be the thing, right? The acting is good, the setup is a typical found footage movie. Someone films, they are going around in an RV, and they are looking for haunted houses, which is a phenomenon in USA during Halloween, where people look for houses that other people build to scare people. It's like the amusement park scary house, but all over USA during Halloween, and outside of Halloween too. There are some pretty extreme examples of these houses in real life. But yeah, I think the movie's good. It got decent camera work, got some scary scenes in it. The plot is stupid, but it's a fun watch. It's a fun watch. So I would recommend that one. The fourth movie we're gonna talk about is The Town That Dreaded Sundown. It's a meta sequel to the 1976 movie The Town That Dreaded Sundown, and it's a movie about the Texarkana Moonlight Murders, an unsolved serial murder case in Texarkana, which is in the border of Texas and Arkansas. The town is actually divided between states, and the killer in these cases was called the Phantom Killer. And in the original movie from 1976 is actually pretty accurate to whatever happened, although some facts have changed, and the fact that they actually don't know if all the cases were the work of the Phantom Killer. But this sequel kind of takes it back. In the sequel, the old movie still exists, and there's a new murderer, or a new killing streak rather, that is happening in the town, with the same premise of the old killer. This movie is kind of okay as a slasher. It's not super gory, but it got this intense old style, 70s tension style with the murders. And I also like the fact that the murderer has this kind of bag on his head that reminds me of Jason from Friday the 13th Part 2. So if you're in the mood of some old style slasher movie, I highly recommend this movie. It's not super awesome. It's not the best movie of the year, but it's definitely worth a watch. And I also recommend watching the 1976 film as well, because that one is also really good. It kind of started the whole slasher thing that we know and love today, or at least I do. Well, you know how it is. Alright, we're moving into the last movie of the video. And the last movie we're gonna talk about is actually Blood Glacier. It's a German movie about climate change. Doesn't sound that scary, does it? No, it's actually a kind of good movie. I like the idea of it. We have this global warming situation, and there are some scientists up on a glacier that measuring movements and melting ice and stuff like that, and shit's gonna go down. It kind of reminds me of the X-Files episode. I think it's episode 8. It's called Ice, from season 1 of X-Files. But the things happening is not the same. This kind of brings out another level of evolutionary thinking in science that is kind of interesting. It's really out there, but it's really interesting to see this in a horror movie, and it's kind of fun that you can use climate change as a horror movie theme. We usually see, whenever SARS or stuff like that comes out in the world, we always see a boom of zombie movies. Maybe in the future we can see climate change horror movies. I mean, that wouldn't be something I would look down on. And Blood Glacier kind of does it well. If you have Netflix or something like that, watch it with English subs. The German can be a bit hard to listen to in the beginning if you're not used to it, but you will get over it, just as you do with Spanish movies and stuff like that, and then you can really enjoy the movie. I think it's a really good one, and I'm surprised to see something like that coming out from Germany, especially since that's the nation of Uwe Boll. God fucking damn it. Thank you everyone for watching this video. Don't forget to subscribe and follow me on Twitter and on Twitch if you want to see more of me. Otherwise, I'll see you next time. Stupid cat.